Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in this video, we're going to be talking about, I guess, something that I feel is a little bit more on the serious side of things. I guess it depends on where you're coming from. But for me, I guess it's a little bit, this is something I take a little bit more serious and something that was a realization to me, I want to say like a week and a half ago. I know, kind of late, but it is what it is, right? I think I had realized it a few months ago, but it never really registered to me. Like I was like, oh, okay, I do this, but it never really actually I sat down and actually thought about it like, oh, snaps. And that is the fact that I have realized that I've been dedicating myself more to my job than my own goals. And when it really hit me that I was doing this, and I'll go into depth in a second, but when it really hit me that I was doing this, it was like someone threw threw a cement brick to the side of my head, because I was like, holy crap. And what I mean is that I don't mean, okay, so here's what I don't mean. Let's start there. I don't mean going into work and doing what you're getting paid to do. You should be doing that. That's do your job. It's what you're getting paid to do, right? I don't mean not showing up to work on time. You need to show up to work on time. I don't mean not advancing if it fits within your lifestyle and within other aspects that it's not going to affect you in a negative way. What I mean is that for me is that I leave my house sooner than I need to be to work, to chill out for 30 minutes, even though I'm technically an hour and a half early, to sit out for 30 minutes, probably go grab lunch or something, then go to where I need to go to in my job and clock in an hour early to start working on stuff or to figure out what's going on for the day, and then still leave at my scheduled time. And yes, the extra time and the time and a half that I might get paid if I go into overtime, yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of extra money, but I am giving up some of my personal time that I don't need to give up for work. I am giving more of my mental energy to my job that I do not have to give them. I am making a choice to do so. Now, one of the things that I have been very strict about when it comes to my job is that I set a clear boundary of when I am at home, I'm off the clock. So if someone messages me, if someone calls me from my job, if someone Teams me from my job, I don't answer and I don't respond and I don't pick up until I get to work and I clock in. That is a clear boundary I have set. And there have been multiple people who have either intentionally or unintentionally tested that boundary and very quickly realized that that is a boundary that I have set, and it will continue to remain set. I will not allow someone to cross that. So when I am at home and you try calling me and you work with me, and I know outside of no one at my job, there's only one person, maybe a few people that have my number that I know that if they contact me, it is not work related. If I see anyone else calling my phone, first of all, I don't answer unknown numbers. But if I see it's somebody from my job and they're calling me, I'm not picking up. I either will let it ring to voicemail or I will send you to voicemail. And if you text me, I may or may not look at the message. And when I say look at the message, I mean, I'm just going to mark it as read. I'm not going to actually read the message. Or I'm just going to swipe it off my notifications so it doesn't show up on my notifications. Or I'll just mark it as read. And if you received a read receipt, that's on you. I'm still not going to respond because I'm not on the clock. Now, I understand if you have a job that requires you to be on call 24/7. That is the job you signed up for, right? I do not that is not my job. I am a hourly associate at my job. So that means when I clock in, I'm on the clock. And when I clock out, I'm off the clock. Don't talk to me about work. Because at that point, if I'm still in the building, the only thing I'm worried about is how fast can I get to my car. But outside of that, it's everything else. I am taking it upon myself to show up to work early. For what? I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody. At the end of the day, like, I come in, I do my job, I'm good at what I do, I clock out and I go home. There is no need for me to show up early. There is no need for me to leave my house sooner than what I need to make sure that I get it to work on time. And it dawned on me that, to me anyway, I was investing or dedicating myself more to a job who would replace me in a heartbeat versus my own goals. And now I am looking at how I can rectify that situation. How can I, with the time that I do have, dedicate myself to my goals with the same intensity, if not more or close to the same dedication that I do to my job, to my own goals. And I say the same intensity and or dedication because at the end of the day, I still want to, there are still other things that are important to me outside of just my goals, right? And family is important to me. So I spend time with my family. My dog is important. So I spend time with my dog. My friends are important. So I spend time with my friends when I feel is appropriate. Now, there are times where I'm just like, look, I can't do A, B, C, and D, and that's just how it is, right? I understand that's different. But I want to, when I dedicate my time and my efforts to my goals, that I'm genuinely dedicating the energy and time and effort to achieve those goals versus just half-assing it, right? And I want to make sure that I'm doing a healthy balance, of that dedication. I don't want to go into this whole hustle cult, the toxic hustle culture that was being pushed a few years back, where it's just getting up and grinding, right? You get up and you grind, yada yada. You get up, you do this, you disappear for 6 months, and you work on this, you work on that, and you work on yourself, yada 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 yada. That might work for a very select few, but there's good and bad to that, right? The good thing is you completely focus on all of your time and energy and effort and life towards this one thing, and you become good at it, or you get a lot further than where you were, or maybe where you might have been if you didn't. But I feel like there's also negatives in that. You miss out on maybe events with your friends that you may not consider important, but maybe they do. And maybe you miss out on building connections with people that you want to build connections with, or connections that you used to have that were really strong, that were healthy. Because, if you're having someone that's drinking all the time, you're trying to get away from that. That's a different story, right? I'm talking about healthy relationships here, healthy friendships and relationships. Things that you want to keep intact. You risk having those connections not be as strong because you disappeared for 6 months, right? You might miss out on special events with your family, or spouse or whoever, because you can take that dedication way too far. And that goes also with jobs too. You have people who are complete workaholics to where all they do is they get up, they go to work, they go home, they say hi to their spouse, they eat dinner, and they go to bed, and they gotta do it all over again. And they do that for years on end. And then when their spouse is like done with it, they're like, yo, I'm done with this. Like, I want someone who's willing to spend more time with me. You might have someone who's like, well, I don't understand. I've been working hard to make sure that we have the quote unquote life that you dreamed of. What's the issue? Right? I feel like with anything, you can overdo it. And there's finding that balance. But I know specifically for me, I have noticed that I have been dedicating more time to my job, unnecessary dedication to my job, than I do my own goals. And that is something that I am working on correcting, because I should be, like I said, time-wise, not going to be the same, because I said there are other things outside of just doing the stuff that I'm doing that I want to maintain and want to do. But I want to start working on dedicating the same intensity, or at least mindset-wise, dedicating that mindset of what I'm willing to do at work, that same mindset to my goals. And I'm hoping that makes sense. Because I know I'm working 40 hours. So I work 40-hour shifts, or not 40-hour shifts. I work 40 hours a week. So unless I'm willing to fit 40 hours of work into 3 days, which would require me working over 12 hours a day, it's not really feasible. So instead of time-wise, for me, it's going to be intensity and more mindset, if that makes sense. Like, not having that mindset of, well, I can work on this a little bit while I watch TV, or while I scroll through YouTube, or while I can work on this and then take 2 hours and scroll through Instagram. That type mindset, right? Like, if I'm going to dedicate the 2 hours to work on this particular thing, let's go ahead and dedicate 2 hours to working on that thing. So putting away the phone, unless it's needed, like, because, I'll pull up reference and stuff or record, or turn the TV off, close down YouTube, and maybe just put on some music and just focus on what I need to focus on for those 2 hours. That right there is an example of what I mean, really dedicating to that particular goal, like I would dedicate to my job. So I'm hoping this makes sense. Like I said, this is just something that I've noticed for myself. I'm not sure about you guys, if you are doing that or if you've done that in the past. Comment below, let me know. But I hope if you guys, if anyone is struggling with the same thing, hopefully this kind of helps you, maybe on ways on how to maybe combat that, or maybe look at yourself and see where you can stop dedicating to your job as much, or maybe dedicate to your goals more. Yeah, like I said, that's all I got. I thank you guys for listening, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace out.